Not because you're a bad person.
Okay. Okay, that's fine.
Do you struggle with honesty and transparency?
Not at all. Not at all.
Why you gotta call her baby mama though?
Honestly.
Oh, yeah, this bro's tripping.
She said, I don't like you?
She said, I don't like you. But she not said why. She said, you struggle with honesty and transparency? And she said, why do you call her baby mama? Boo-boo, if you got issues with your baby daddy, that's between you and him. Don't be fucking projecting that on anybody else within a relationship. Yeah, but she's projecting. Whatever she got going on, that was, she said, this man is insane.
When someone does a switch like that, it's something that you said, but it's more about how they interpret it and their experience of what you said. But yeah, that's a switch up.
I don't even think it's that. I don't even think it's that. You want to think of this? She wasn't attracted to him, so she was working back from her conclusion. She already wasn't into him. Sure. Now she's just finding reasons. Sure. Because if Mans was mad attractive, she wouldn't be acting like this.
No, she'd be like, why you call her a baby mama?
Yeah.
Honestly, on my phone, she is mother of my son.
Good. Okay. Yeah. But where's the joke?
He told me the right. Okay.
Oh, hell no. The man was in the setup. You interrupted him, said some rude shit about you don't like him, and you still want him to render you a service. Disrespectful ass bitch.
Don't be talking down on black women like that.
Hey, I'll say that to any woman who being a bitch. And I guarantee you there's black women watching right now like, now she being a bitch. I guarantee you. Yeah. It's not because it's a black woman that you can't say it. If she doing it, she doing it. I just don't do it unfairly. She earned that one.
You know exactly what I said and why I said it. You know exactly what I said.
Yeah, because
I've been single for 2 years. I mean,
I'm digging the tags.
A few moments later.
Tell each other why someone shouldn't date you.
You go first.
Okay, for one, I think everything's a sign.
Okay,
I also love astrology.
You love signs, you got all these signals from the world, but you couldn't afford being a single parent? Okay, so astrology not working out for your ass. What happened? Venus in retrograde couldn't tell you about to be goofing around by yourself? 95% of people I dislike like astrology for some reason. And then the other 5% are Ethan Klein. So we're doing pretty good percentages.
What's your sign?
I'm a Libra, Aries moon, Taurus rising.
My last relationship was with a Libra, and so...
What's your sign?
I'm a Cancer.
It's okay, baby. You're traumatized. Nadia, what's your name?
Usually stories about dating and relationship and marriage and all that, giving relationship advice and all that. I mean, it is not my forte, something I don't like doing, because I believe that every relationship is different. Everybody has a different personality. People could cope with some sort of personalities, others can't cope with it. So most of the times when issues like that come up, I don't want to put myself into that issue, unless it has something to do with behavioral science or psychology. So today I'm doing an exception on this issue. And the video we played earlier is from my favorite YouTubers, Abba and Preach. If you don't know who Abba and Preach is, Abba and Preach are Canadian YouTubers who have been in the space for a very long time. They are really successful. They are social commentators. They talk about stuff not even boxed in one place, or they talk about politics, they talk about things that go on now, social commentators and all that. They also react to videos from other content creators, especially Jubilee or Kat. And these type of content creators, they make social experiments, especially on dating, choices of women and all that. And they have this fun, game called the Red Button. They have this fun segment. It's a game called the Red Button. It's a dating show. You come, you sit down, you talk to people, and when they see any red flag or they see a turn off, and the red button comes up, they just, click it. And when they click it, it means you must go. That. Most of the times, I personally have an issue with that game because it looks like people are just there to eliminate people and don't listen to people. So it makes the dating show kind of look like a game, and it doesn't make sense to me. And if something is supposed to be dating and emotional and psychological, it needs to take time to know people. So you might pick someone on the random based on physical appearances and all that, but later it won't be the right person for you. That's the same reason why I hate dating apps and blind dating. I just don't like it. So in this segment, as you saw in the video, they were talking about a lady who was projecting her own insecurities on another person because she didn't find the person desirable. And when the tables were flipped or the tables were turned, she was rather pissed off and she was using another defense mechanism to shame the guy. And that is what a lot of women do. And I'm coming to get a behavioral context from it. And as you all know, you people know my favorite book aside the Bible. It is my Bible for human behavior, which is Robert Greene's The Law of Human Nature. So yeah, this is what it says. This is the first extract. It says that, remember, behind every vehement hatred is often a secret or very unpalatable envy of the hated person or people. It is only through such hate that it can be released from the unconscious in some form. So basically, he's saying that we sometimes envy the people we attack, we envy the people we hate, and we either have hatred towards someone with that reminds us of like that the person we see in the current reminds us of. So we tend to release that unconscious, the repressed hatred out on that individual. The second extract says that we can read signs of this in how deeply and secretly we are all drawn to the dark side in our culture. We thrill at watching shows in which various Machiavellian characters manipulate, deceive, and dominate. We lap up stories in the news of those who have been caught acting out in some way and enjoying the ensuing shaming. Serial killers and diabolical cult leaders enthrall us too. With these shows and the news, we can always become moralistic and talk of how much we despise such villains. But the truth is that the culture constantly feeds us these figures because we are hungry for expressions of the dark side. All of this provides a degree of release from the tension we experience in having to play angel and seem so correct. A clear example of this individual is Ted Bundy. You know, Ted Bundy was a serial killer, used to kill a lot of women and rape them to sexually abuse them. And the dude was smart. He had a lot of degrees. I think he was a lawyer or something like that. He studied law, but he wasn't a lawyer. And Ted Bundy had this he was a psychopath, and he was killing women in the 80s and I think early 70s. And this guy was, you know, he's a handsome, he was a suave person. And the funny thing about it is when his story broke out, women who were his main victims were enthralled by him, and they had a fan base for him. He even had sex with one of his fans, and they gave birth to a daughter before he died. So basically, we tend to shame people for being horrible and all that, but deep within us, we are desired, and the society suppresses it. So basically what he says, and I think I've made a video about why we bully the cyberbully, is that we have repressed emotions, we have repressed our dark side so that we would be accepted by the society or group. Group rejection is really depressing, and you know, as mammals and animalistic as we are, we don't like it. So basically, we tend to adapt acceptable norms so that we would be accepted by the society and accepted by the group. So we sometimes, you know, repress our dark sides, and our dark sides are also, you know, killing to come out. And because of that, the news and, you know, movies show us these type of characters acting out. They act out in this type of characters so that we feed on them and we use it to release our, you know, repressed emotions. And yeah, I get it, and it's funny. And it's funny, the thing is funny, but it's true. Especially we'll be watching sports shows where people are acting violent, we'll be watching action movies, and we try to be happy when people attack others and all that. But in a moral world, you know, in a normal society, we frown on such actions. And most of the time, when we act moralistic and all that, it's not because we are moral or we want to be, you know, we want to follow the norms, but it's us trying to express that side we have repressed, and we some sort of envy these type of people, but we pretend we don't like them. So the last extract I pulled was, in case whether the association is positive, negative, or ambivalent, powerful emotions are triggered, and feeling ourselves transported to the primal relationship in our childhood. We act in ways that are often contrary to the persona we present. We become hysterical, needy, obsessive, controlling. The animal and the animals have their personalities, so when they come to life, we act like person B, because we are not really relating to women and men as they are, but rather to our projections. We will eventually feel disappointed in them, as if they are to blame for not being what we had imagined. The relationship will often tend to fall apart from the misreading and miscommunications on both sides, and not aware of the source of this. We will go through precisely the same cycle with the next person. So basically with this one, he's talking about the animal and the animal. So according to a psychoanalyst by the name Carl Jung, who is the GOAT, one of my GOATs in psychology, And he has this philosophy called the archetypes, and the archetypes, one of them is the animal and the animals. He has this belief that men and women have opposite tendencies or traits of opposites, the opposites in each of them. Like a man has a tendency of a woman's traits within him, and the woman also has a tendency of a man's traits within him, and it stems from the relationship with the parents of the opposite sex and all that. And most of the times we act out in such a way towards the other, especially when you're heterosexual. We act out towards the other because of the relationship we have with our parents who had the same sex, of the opposite sex and all that. So basically, and in this one he's saying that we most of the times have a picture or expectation because of this relationship we have with our parents of the opposite sex, and we try to imagine it in our partners and our prospective partners, wherever you put it. And if you don't get it, we become disappointed and we go to the next relationship with the same logic. So basically that informs our reaction to these type of to our prospects or to our dating partners. So yeah, that is the explanation on why the lady was projecting her own insecurities on the guy and she was being defensive about it. That is my explanation on it, and based on Robert Greene's book of the laws of human nature. And yeah, I agree with him, and I think there are other explanations too. I'm not saying that is the reason, but that is what I think. The name is ADB, and that was my opinion. I'm out dismissing. Hasta la vista.
And we say bye-bye!
You